Hello, good people, and welcome back to another stage here at the IEM RIO Major 2022 Pick'ems. Well, for those of you that did watch my previous video about the Legend stage, you might know that we didn't make it through. I don't think that a lot of people did make it through. That's one of the craziest majors we've seen, and to be fair, I'm a little bit sad that I didn't put Outsiders in because I feel like I had my doubts about I might have had my doubts about putting Outsiders in, but it is what it is. What happened. Yesterday was the final day. I'm recording this the morning after the end of the Legend stage. Yesterday, Liquid did lose their last game. That was against Spirit, and Spirit qualified for the champion stage, which screwed me up a little bit. I don't think I'm the only one. There's I feel like 95% of the community doesn't go through the Legend stage. Obviously, there's some people that did manage to secure 5. Fair enough. I mean, well played. But we're still gonna continue with the remaining of the predictions. We still have the champion stage. We can still go for the gold coin. And for those of you that are still in the fight for the diamond coin, I might be able to help you out a little bit. Now, when I said that this is one of the craziest majors, I'm not joking whatsoever. It's absolutely one of the toughest ones to predict so far. And I'd say that it might be the toughest one to predict so far. Now, one thing I don't like looking at this bracket, because I try to, do a bit of, stats research before doing that. Although I think at this point I can feel like how the flow is going of all of this. But one thing I hate about this is the fact that Furia and Navi have to face off against each other in the quarterfinals. I would love for that to be a semi or a grand final. I think it would have been sick, because I feel like Furia right now, with the momentum that they have, I would actually favor them against a lot of those teams. Maybe bar Navi and Cloud9, I would favor them against anyone else, even against an Outsiders that I think are really solid right now. But against Navi, I think is going to be a tough one. So we're going to start from bottom to top, actually. Unfortunately for all the Brazilian fans, I would love to be proven wrong. I would absolutely love that. But I feel like this is Navi, and to be fair, I feel like this is just Navi picking up the entire tournament. Obviously we're gonna get to that a little bit later with all the matchups, but I think that's a great chance that Navi are getting. When you don't have teams like FaZe, like Vitality, like Liquid, those guys that are so accustomed to playing on the scene. Even though this is the third consecutive major in which Furia and Team Spirit, by the way, make playoffs. Which is impressive. Spirit making playoffs once again after their run in Antwerp. I'm pretty sure that all of you remember that. Dexter and Patsy were phenomenal back then. They did prove that they can make it work with Wonderful as well, which kind of the situation around Wonderful was my only it was my only argument in favor of Spirit not making it through the Legend stage, because I thought that mentally, after all the allegations that he had about match fixing and stuff like that in 2020, I think it was, when he was a part of Majesty. I thought that this would actually harm his performance in a way and affect it, but apparently it didn't. He's been having a really good time, and he said multiple times that he doesn't feel a lot of pressure right now, which I think might change for the next stage. But he's done his job. There are the quarters. That's impressive enough. I still think that Heroic are going to be able to beat Spirit in, not the second, but the third quarterfinal. I feel like the Danes are just a little bit better in terms of, where their team is right now at, like, state of development. I feel like they have some really strong protocols. I feel like they have some really good stats right now. Heroic are one of the best teams in terms of preparations going into this tournament, and I'm pretty confident that they're going to be able to take down Spirit, even though this is completely screwed in terms of this entire tournament. And you better believe that there is a big chance that all of the things that I'm saying now don't really happen. You need to know that, but I'm pretty sure you've already figured that one out. I still am going to go with my guts. I feel like Heroic are going to be able to beat Spirit, even though Spirit is a great team right now. But yeah, I think that Heroic are going to be able to secure their spot in the semis. I don't unfortunately think that they're going to be able to take on Navi. I feel like at this point Heroic have established themselves as a really good gatekeeper in terms of, you know, they're going to beat most of the teams that are below them, but then they're going to lose to some of the top dogs. I feel like Navi and Cloud9 are teams that it is extremely hard for Heroic to play against, and I feel like that's simply because of the play style. Cloud9 is the kryptonite of Heroic, pretty much. They're the complete opposite to how Heroic love to approach the game. For Navi, I just feel like they're a little bit better. I think that they have proven that they are the best team in the world right now, even though, you know, FaZe have done such an amazing season, and so far this season they've been without a doubt the best team. But I think that Vitality have had their good moments. I was actually really hopeful for Vitality going into this tournament, but I think that this performance from Navi is just proving that they're the best, and no matter the circumstances, they're always going to be up there. Now, that being said, I don't wanna look past teams like Furia, because Furia for the past 2-3 years they've been consistently a top 10 team. And again, I'm really sad that they're getting matched up against Navi in the first round, but it is what it is. And I think that this is how things are going to happen on the lower side of the bracket. Now, upper side of the bracket, a lot more simplified might look to a lot of people. I think that the logical way to go is Outsiders beating Fnatic and then Cloud9 beating Mouse. And I think that this is going to happen. Now, I've loved Mouse and their performance. I think they're playing some great CS. I think individually, a lot of them are overperforming in a way that, you know, they're playing that, you know, for a lot of players, you have each 3 or 5 tournaments, you have one tournament where you're going to be popping off and you're going to be feeling the best. I'm really looking forward to seeing if Mouse are going to be able to continue with that individual performance, because if they do, well, that's great. I mean, they're going to be insane. But individually, they've been out of this world. And one thing that I liked was the fact that I think it was the last game they played, the deciding match yesterday, or rather the day before that. I think Exertion didn't really, because obviously he was their best player in the challenger stage, and he was their best player in a lot of the legend stage games. But yesterday, Dexter was the one to actually pop off in the deciding game, which is something I liked. I feel like it's really vital to see that, you know, the IGO can step it up sometimes and help out the team in that way. But I still feel like Cloud9 are going to be able to take the better of them. I think that Cloud9 right now is a lot more, you know, mentally stable than they were before as a team. They might not be up there with, you know, the mindset of people like Navi, which is going to be really hard to accomplish. But I think that right now they're having a fantastic tournament. I think that Shiro is an absolute beast. Axio has started waking up. Enters is he's a miraculous boy. I actually have no words to describe him. I think he's one of the best players that, without a doubt, maybe one of the best support players in the world. He's insane. But yeah, you know, Hobbit is doing his part of the job. You know, he's great when the team's struggling. He's like a leader, helping out Nafany, and Nafany himself, the last 1 or 2 games of Cloud9 has been able to perform individually well. So when this is working out, like when all of the pieces are put together, Cloud9 is one of the best teams in the world. And I think that this is what we're witnessing right now. Outsiders, on the other part of it, I've been impressed with how far Fnatic have went. I must admit, I'd give more credit to Mouse. As you remember, my Legend stage, I did put Mouse 3-0. I thought that they were going to go 3-0. I don't really give a lot of credit to Fnatic right now. I don't know why. It's just an awkward lineup for me. I like it. I like some of the players. I like most of the players individually. Just as a team, it still sits awkward for me. But I've been really impressed with, you know, making it into the quarterfinals. I mean, proved me wrong. I didn't think that you were going to be able to do that. I still feel like Outsiders are playing some great CS right now. And to be fair, this is the hardest matchup to predict for me. Because on one hand, the last time those two faced off, I think it was Cologne earlier this year. It was in July, in the beginning of July. Cloud9 won that game 2-0. But Outsiders had just picked up Norbert and Fame at the time. And apparently they're feeling a lot more comfortable now. You know, Famous is popping off. Norbert is kind of like the new Sanji in a way, which is interesting because that wasn't his role on K23. But you know, he's been a little bit more supportive now, and I think he's doing a really good job. In the last couple of games, he's been popping off as well in a way. But yeah, I feel like James is playing a really good tournament as well. I think that the team as a whole is just functioning really well. So for me, this one is a coin toss. Now I'm gonna put Cloud9. Simply because I think a Cloud9 Navi final would be interesting. I really hope that this is not a replay of the Stockholm Major semifinal where Navi absolutely demolished C9. I don't think that the gap is that big anymore. But I feel like right here, if you want to put outsiders as well, it's completely understandable. You know, those guys, they've played. Let's not forget, 3 of them actually have played. Or rather, is it 2 left now? I think it's 2 left now. Of them have actually played a major final. You know, James back in the days when he was still, you know, when they were still playing under a Vanguard. That was a long time ago. But I think it was the Berlin Major in 2019 where they did manage to make it into the finals and then lost to Astralis. But that was, you know, old school Astralis. We remember what kind of a beast that was. But yeah, so James actually played a major final. You know, those guys have the experience. Those guys have been on the big stage. They've performed. They're a team that knows how to deal under pressure. And I feel like they're one of the calmest teams out there. But I still would. I'm not gonna lie. I just have that feeling inside that Cloud9 are gonna win. But if you go for outsiders, that's completely understandable. And I guess you could make a good point about, you know, them winning. I feel like this is the most 50-50 game you're going to get all playoffs. But yeah, that's it. And I think Navi win the final. I think that's a second major title for Navi in less than a year. Well, in 1 year, to be precise. And I think it's going to be deserved. I feel like you know, under all the chaos and considering all the things that have been happening for a lot of those teams, that's gonna be. It's impressive that Navi is still able to, you know, stay up there and put up that level of a fight and still be consistently winning against the teams that they should be winning against. Whereas, you know, some other of the top dogs are just having some serious difficulties in the long run. But Navi are proving to be a really big force, and I feel like right now, when obviously you don't have a G2 here, you don't have a Vitality, you don't have a FaZe Clan, even a Liquid, you know, even though they haven't been such a force in the past couple of years, even they are, you know, some big names. I think that when you don't have the first 3 that I mentioned, there isn't really anyone that could stop Navi. Obviously, I would be really happy if C9 were to win that major. So for me, it's kind of like a win-win because I'm a really big Navi fan, but in the same time, they've already won their major. So if C9 do it, I'm still gonna be happy because I love C9. Yeah, I still feel like it's gonna be Navi. I hope that I was helpful, and yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you for being with me for, you know, the last 3 videos, doing the predictions and the pick'ems. Let me know how your pick'ems are going. Let me know if you're still in the fight for the diamond coin. And let me know, of course, who do you think is going to win the IEM RIO 2022, which might as well stay in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest major we've had ever in CSGO yet. So, yeah, make sure you do your predictions. Don't forget them. Bye-bye, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.